started on the colloquium project?
Which one? Like I'm writing a super long paper right now.
The artifact one.
The artifact one. It's gonna be so much work. You're just crazy if you didn't even do that.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, Byron, I don't get that, dude, sometimes.
Tell me about it. I barely have time to eat.
Yeah, same. Thank God Washaki's so close.
Why do they call it Washiki anyways?
I don't know. Maybe they just think it's like a cool sounding word.
Washiki. Yeah, it is kind of a cool sounding word. What if it's after like that chief guy?
What, chief guy?
I don't really know anything about him. Like I live in Washiki County. I think his name's Chief Washiki. Maybe we should go ask some people about it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you know about Chief Washiki?
Who's that?
What do you know about Chief Washiki?
That he was a chief, and his name was Washiki, I guess.
What do you know about Chief Washiki?
Nothing.
What do you know about Chief Washiki?
Nothing?
McCormick,
like
what do you know about Chief Washiki?
Chief Washiki, what do I know about him? Well, his name is Washiki, and he is a chief, and we eat at Washiki Dining Center.
I can't believe that, like, no one knew anything about Chief Washiki.
I know. I kind of want to know more.
Yeah, me too, honestly.
What's that one place Peter's always talking about? The Heritage
Oh,
Center or
yeah,
something?
the American Heritage Center.
Yeah, I bet they'd have something.
Yeah, someone there has to know something.
Well, should we head that way?
Yeah, let's just go there now.
Megan, look at these awesome dolls I found.
Oh, these are so cool.
Yeah, they're actually given to Alice Sheldon by Chief Washiki himself.
Really?
Yeah, she's the daughter of his legal consultant.
Oh, that's so cool. Did you know that a lot of times in Native American culture, dolls were a lot more than just like toys for the kids? They usually represented specific people, and so then like the adults would use the dolls to teach like the kids like different lessons and stuff, and then the dress that they like wear usually mirrors like what the tribes people wear.
So this is actually like a little bitty piece of the Shoshone culture.
Yeah. So this is probably a pretty like close representation of what the Shoshone people would have like worn back in the day.
So what exactly is that stuff?
I mean, it looks like leather.
And it
if
feels
I had
kind of
to
like
guess.
hard, like they stuffed it with
Yeah.
something in there.
There's like a lot of little beads in here too. Gosh, I wonder how long it took to make this.
I bet it took a really long time. But I
Yeah.
know someone that we can ask.
Really?
Yeah. Wyoming. Dad, this is Megan. Megan, this is Dad.
It's nice to meet you. So these dolls here are made out of stuffed muslin with a leather costume and intricate beading. How long do you think it took to make those?
I would guess that with all of those beads probably being individually sewn on there or laced together and then laced in and out of the leather, that there's probably well over 100 hours of time in that.
Wow. So is that, do you think that's how they did the beads? Because there's a lot of those little beads on there.
Yeah, most of these beads, if you zoom in and look at the larger ones on the head, you can see that they're hollow. And most of those beads were hollowed, made out of bone or rock or something,
Wow.
and have a hole through the center of them. And then the larger ones up on the face are laced with a leather thong through them. And these smaller ones probably would be laced with something like little strings of sinew or thread, similar like using a horsehair.
Dang. Yeah, that must have took a whole lot of effort with the technology that they had
For sure.
back then.
Yeah, and there's some braiding work there, and also fringe cutting, which would take a massive amount of time, especially if you were using stone implements.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not counting that's discounting the fact that those beads had to be handmade, and the leather had to be handmade, hand tanned.
Yeah.
So there's all of that before they can even start making the doll. So
Yeah.
it would be a lot of work.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, it was great discussing this with you.
Well, you're welcome.
It was so cool talking to your dad about those dolls. He just knew so much about how they were made. And honestly, it seems like Chief Washiki just had such a deep love for his tribe.
I mean, yeah, that's cool, but why is the dining center named after him?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I I think there's actually a place not too far from here that we could go to like dig a little deeper.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so turn left up here.
Wow, this place is amazing.
Yeah, I know, right? This is the Wind River Reservation. It's where Chief Washakie lived.
No way.
Yeah, turns out he was a pretty fierce warrior back in the 1800s. He was a leader of the Shoshone people. They used to have like 44 million acres of land out here.
Wait, why used to?
Well, Chief Washakie fought pretty hard against the white men who invaded his land, both on the battlefield and on the political side of things. But the government just wasn't very compromising at the time. He realized he'd have to make great sacrifices in order to save his people and his land, so he worked real close together with the white men, and he ended up signing this contract that earned him the 44 million.
Wow, it sounds like you worked like super hard for that.
Yeah, he did. But the government didn't keep its promise. They gradually took more and more of his land until he was left with only 2 million.
Well, that's not fair at all.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what Chief Washakie thought. But he continued to fight for his people and his culture, and remained a gracious, outspoken leader through everything.
Well, now I see why they named the dining hall after him. He was a hero. I wish more people knew about it, though.
Yeah, it's like there's this whole alternative side to history that is just hidden from people.
And there's so many artifacts like those dolls that if people would just look for, then they'd get to know all about this history.
Right? Like, those dolls taught us so much about Native American culture and so much about Chief Washakie.
He spent his whole entire life fighting for that culture. That's the same culture that those dolls represent.
Yeah. He literally shaped Wyoming and Western history, but so many people are oblivious to it.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of sad.
We should probably get going. It's getting kind of late.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's kind of nice just sitting here with the window down like this, looking out over the mountains. I can stay here forever.
Yeah, me too. But we really got to get started on that project.
Oh, the project. I completely forgot about that. How are we ever going to find an artifact for it?
Dude, I have no idea.